Forever. Dog.
When your first choice is a big old bus,
You turn around and boom, you end up with a sloppy seconds. Oh, diva. Our number is 213-536-9180. Our email is sloppysecondspod@gmail.com. And now on with the show. Hi, you sloppy, you stupid little fucks, you nasty little fucks, you stupid little fucks. It is Sloppy Seconds. What's the Sloppy Seconds with me and Big Dipper, you stupid little fucks? Hi.
you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Brrr.
This week in Candy Muse news, Candy Muse has been cast on season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Hey, come on, Candace.
Come on, Candace musical. She really turned it in those Meet the Queens videos.
Yes, she did. And how crazy, we just had her on the show. Like, no idea. She was like, big things to come.
Who knew?
I can't believe she didn't tell us.
I know, and I filmed that whole music video with her, and not a peep
not a
about
pibbity
the
peep,
RuPaul's
not an
Drag
Easter
Race.
peep about it.
So strange. Well,
The girls are professional these days, honey.
yes, they keep it. They keep their
They
mouths
sign their
shut.
NDAs. They stay in the house. They don't fly anywhere for gigs. They're not in
definitely
Puerto
not-
Vallarta. They're not getting
they're-
pumped. Honey, they're not on yachts and boats with all the other girls. I'm being shady, but okay.
Yeah, you being very shady. Anyway, that's all for
Why
Candy
is
News.
why is everyone in Tulum?
Why is everyone in Tulum or Puerto Vallarta? What happened? Where? You know why? Because I've seen pictures of people that are there, and I have a good friend who's there. And everything's just open and going. Like, people are going out to bars like there's nothing happening. I don't want our podcast to become like gay shame.
First of all, you brought on the gay shame when you started investigative journalism here on this show. First and foremost. Second of all, listen, I hate getting on here and being frustrated about the pandemic every week. But guess what? We live in this world. This shit is happening. It is historical and revolutionary. Not revolutionary. It is historical and what? Impactful? I don't know.
What's
I'm just
the word
saying,
that
like,
means when it's never happened before?
yes, unprecedented.
Unprecedented.
Unprecedented. And at the end of the day, is Scorpio season. My claw.
It's okay for them to come out now. I will say I was mildly shocked that they didn't have to closed caption Candy Muse speaking.
Well, we had a little problem, but that was due to internet connection. They were live in person.
Someone commented on that video and they were like, wow, I'm sorry, on our podcast, and was like, sorry for getting so mad about the Candy Muse audio. Turns out it's just her voice.
Ah! Oh my God. Okay, but you put on Twitter this, like, a few days ago, you were like, should the next episode of Sloppy Seconds be a Grinch the Musical recap and roundup show?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that the whole episode is going to be that, but we both watched the musical.
You watched it all the way through?
No, I did some stuff in between. But okay,
yeah.
So we're talking about Dr. Seuss's The Grinch musical that aired on NBC. Was it live? Did they do it live?
No, it was not live. It
So
was not
it's a
live. It was shot in
pre-taped
different scenes. Well, I mean, they said it was live, but I was like, no, it's not like the other ones where it was literally a play that went from beginning to end. There was times where, like, you could tell that it was like it just stopped, and they all were like, all right, cut.
Girl, they went to commercial.
I know, but even at the other ones, it was like they went to commercial, and it didn't feel. This felt like there was like restaging every time. The whole stage would change. There was none. And
Girl,
on the other
if
one,
there
you
were
would see the stage move. Like, it felt like
Do
a
you
real
know?
musical.
Have you been to a Broadway musical?
No, but I can tell from watching this.
You said
was
no?
shot scene from. Oh wait, yes, I have been to a Broadway musical.
Because they can do a set change in like 90 seconds.
I don't think that they did that
You're
for
being
this
so aggressive.
one.
I also want to say neither of us have done any research, so I'm going to pose a bunch of questions.
Okay, I don't have answers, but I pretend like I will.
Is this a musical that like happened on Broadway?
That's what I need to know, because I don't know if this existed in the world before too. I don't know if it existed in the world before this. I feel like maybe, but it had
God,
to be because they wouldn't
we could
have
do
written a
something.
musical for this. We could have asked. We could have. Okay, here's the thing.
I'm just
I have another
Googling
question.
it because it's like, it'll just come up. Okay. Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical, or simply How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical. It's a seasonal. Okay.
Well,
First
it's a
performance,
seasonal. Oh no, it's a seasonal
November 1994 in Minneapolis.
and it had 1994 written all over it.
2006 on Broadway, 2007 Broadway revival, 2008 U.S. tour, 2010 U.S. tour, 2019 UK tour. Wow.
Were there any other famous Grinches?
I don't know.
I have a question. How come all the little Whovillians, even the little kids, they were thick?
Okay.
Okay.
Don't do that.
I said, don't bring that little thick 8-year-old around here.
No, don't do that. Okay, so for anyone who didn't watch it, my best experience with the live NBC musicals, I think, was The Wiz.
The Wiz was pretty good.
I didn't look at that Peter Pan that they did.
Peter Pan was bad because they didn't have. Here's my problem with all of these. If you're going to do a live theater musical, why not go straight to the source of the most talented live theater musical actors and get some top name Broadway stars on these? I know that they're going to charge a lot, but it's also like you're putting so much money into this special.
I would say I enjoyed when Fox did The Rent live.
Aside from
Did you ever see the staging? The set? The sound mixing? What are you talking about?
The sound of one person's voice?
You are being so shady right now. No, I enjoyed her in the thing. Did you ever watch, didn't they do like
They did Grease.
Grease live?
They did Grease live.
Oh, Vanessa Hudgens.
Vanessa Hudgens. And then they also did
but these
Grease
were
is
on
the one
Fox.
With
I feel like the Fox live musicals are better.
they had Hairspray, was that Fox?
Maybe. God, we should have done a little bit of
Hairspray
research
had
before.
Ariana Grande in it. Anyway, no,
that was NBC because that also had it wasn't Amanda Bynes in that?
Yes, yeah. No, Amanda Bynes was in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Because she played Amanda Bynes' character.
Ariana Grande.
Yes, and it always comes back to Amanda Bynes with me.
It does always come back to Amanda Bynes. To me, the iconic Amanda Bynes photo is her in court with the wig, the bangs in the wig, and the cheek piercings. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And that's was that
New York.
shortly before or after she said Drake could murder her pussy?
I think that was after.
Girl.
I lived in New York when she was living in New York at the time of that, and I saw her multiple times because we lived near each other. And she was a mess on the street.
A mess on the street.
A mess on the street.
I
do want to talk about why
the
Max
Grinch.
the dog. Who said Max was in charge of telling this story?
Who
why
said
couldn't
Max
it
was-
have been a narrator and we get to just hear a recording of Alex Newell hitting the notes or something?
Girl. Yeah. I want to read this text from my mom that is a little shady, and then let's get into the real Grinch deep dive, which is my mom texted me, we just watched The Prom on Netflix. It was really good. And then I sent her I didn't respond, and I sent a thumbs up this morning, and she just responded, well, entertaining, which I think is like, she was like, it was really good, but I didn't like go off being like, yeah. So she just responded with, well, entertaining is what I mean.
That has been catching like a ton of flack because of James Corden playing a gay guy or whatever.
Yeah.
I keep on forgetting he's not gay. If he's not gay, how come he was on the cover of a gay magazine? That you can go look up. I think it was Attitude or something like that. That me and Rhea Latre are on.
Oh, Rhea Latre.
With him.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
we did this one shot. I'm sorry. I'm going to talk about it because I'm so upset. They were like, will anyone get in the pool? And everyone was like, no. And then everyone looked at me and I was like, okay, fine, I'll get in the pool. And so I stood in the pool and then James Corden poured a bottle of champagne into my mouth, pouring all the way down me, like all over my costume. And they didn't even use the shot. I got soaking wet, had to go home wet padded, like ride in my car, messy, wet, and they never used the shot for the cover of the magazine.
How much do you get paid?
Enough.
Okay. I feel like James Corden is one of those people who's been bullied for being gay his whole life.
And now he wants to reclaim it by stealing roles from gay people.
And so people think it's like, okay. I don't know. Okay,
I
so
don't
our
care.
takeaway.
I truly don't care.
Takeaway from the Grinch. Who designed it? To me, it's not a good musical, but it gets a pass because it's a holiday story people like to hear every year. What makes the Grinch stand out is the performance of the Grinch and the design. So a sleigh of that is Jim Carrey. Well, Shea Coulee, sure, recently, but also classically Jim Carrey and all of the way they did all the Who's. That movie,
that is the standard. So that is where I want to start with
100%.
With this musical is like that level. And if you know it's going to be like HD up close recording, find a makeup artist that knows how to do stage makeup,
girl,
and do some sort of well done application. I don't even care if all the Who's could stay looking as poorly as they did,
girl. But why did they put fake nose on the Who's?
That's what, I mean, because when in the books, they do have that little nose, and I understand why they didn't do, like, the full mouth prosthetic, because they needed to sing live, so, like, just the little nose makes sense, and those were fine, but the Grinch, he needed better makeup all around.
I didn't understand why he was in platform Doc Martens. I didn't understand.
It looked like they didn't want to sew any costumes for him. They just wanted him to be a Grinch and then, like, find pieces and piece them together poorly.
But I also, this is what I wanted to say, because when I knew we were gonna get on here and be messy and sort of drag this whole production. I have also like really been inside something, like as far as like a project or a production where like the directors and the producers are like really on board, and it's like, yes, let's do it, and everyone's like, oh cool, yeah, I love those pants, and like, oh totally, she should wear that wig, and like, cool, great. And
this is network television. That
but you just
exist.
like forget that it's not good. You sort of like, everyone convinces themselves that like this is the dopest thing ever. Girl, everything looked busted. The only thing that didn't
look busted.
The only thing that to me that didn't look busted was the set. I thought the set was interesting and cool because it looked like the drawings.
The screen, like the LED wall, really changed the like game because it could act as a backdrop on the backdrops. But yeah, no, the costumes were, some of them were good. The only one person in it that I would say could walk away and be proud of their role is the mom.
Yeah, slay, for sure.
She slayed. Whoever she is trained classically.
Yeah.
Matthew Morrison, what I don't need is Glee up in here trying to be like a sexy Grinch.
He wasn't even Grinch-like.
No, and he didn't do, I mean, not that the Grinch needs to do Jim Carrey's voice, but the Grinch in my mind has like a rough, growly voice. And then when he goes into singing, he dropped the Grinch voice completely.
Which is probably why they were like, don't go so hard on the Grinch voice because you can't sing in that voice. You know, you really need a character actor to play the Grinch.
It's a character role.
You don't need a singer and a dancer.
You need someone that can hold a note for those little belty lines, for the and then can character sing the rest of it.
Not you getting a chance to belt at any given moment.
Ooh, rough. There was a part where two of them were on roller skates, and I really thought like, ugh, this was my time.
Yeah, but they didn't even, they should have hired some like trick skaters to come in. They didn't even do like dope stuff.
I know. And truly those two, thing one and thing two, I think they were supposed to be, didn't look alike. Me and Nicole would have been a better thing one and thing two, baby.
I just was listening to Nicole's podcast and she was like, I'm really trying to get Meatball to become my best friend.
She did. Yeah. No, I haven't listened. She's like been texting me a bunch. We're getting very close. I love Nicole.
Well,
in other news, that little mini doc of me is coming out.
When?
The 1 minute 30-second edition of it already came out, and then they messaged me and were like, "Hey, we didn't get you to sign any of the paperwork to release it, so we can't release the whole thing." And I was like, "Oopsies, well, okay." And so I just signed it all and sent it back the other day. But a full 7-minute version of that is going to be coming out. A little
at
mini doc
intheknow.com.
It was a very fun thing to shoot. That was what they were shooting me the day that we did Fistgiving.
Yeah.
So what people don't know is I got into drag 3 times that day. Got
That's
in and out of it
insane.
3 times. Went roller skating, rode the motorcycle, went to the skate park. I think I went. I don't know. We did a lot. It was a long day, and I heard Alaska talking on Race Chaser. She was like, "Yes, we shot an 18-hour day," and I was like, "They were truly in my house from morning till night."
Right. Well,
Any
let's
other
take a break.
Okay, goodbye.
You know what time it is? Let's talk about BetterHelp.
BetterHelp connects you with professional counseling securely over the internet. They will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist.
Yes, BetterHelp is amazing because they have a broad range of expertise available, which might not be available where you live.
You can log into your account at any time and send a message to your counselor, and you'll get a timely and thoughtful response. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions from home.
That's right. I have been using BetterHelp, and it's great. You just hop on their website, and everything is there. The therapist, your chat history, and you can even do video messaging on your schedule. And BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches. So the other thing they offer is you can switch your counselor if it's not a match for free.
Oh, wow. So check out BetterHelp. That's better, H-E-L-P, and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional.
That's right. And Sloppy Seconds listeners get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/sloppy.
That's better, HELP.com/sloppy for 10% off your first month.
So stay safe and healthy, everyone. And if you need some help, go visit betterhelp.com/sloppy.
Okay,
we're back.
We're back. And Hip Dot did release the My Chemical Romance makeup set,
listen.
which I've had it for like a week and a half. They sent it to me super early, and they were like, "Don't post about it. Don't post about it." So I've just been sitting here on it. It's so good. It's so cute. Trisha Paytas was unable to receive one. And so I told the people at Hip Dot, I was like, "Hey, Trisha Paytas wants one really bad." And they're like, "Oh, well, we're like actually out. And I was like, "No, it's Trisha Paytas." And they were like, "Can you send us her at? We don't know." And I was like, "You don't know Trisha Paytas?"
This is the amazing thing about the internet, because we make these jokes all the time. Like, remember when Madison Beer was like a guest judge on Drag Race, and then
Yes.
celebrity, and everyone was like, "What's a Madison Beer?"
Yes.
And then you look her up, and she's like, "Oh, 160 million." I mean, not that many, but whatever. It's like, oh, there are. This is a complicated thing that I'm going to say, because it also relates to people being dumb and stupid about coronavirus. Is people go, there are so many people in the world. When you tell me 3,000 people died today, that's a huge amount of people. That's more people than died in 9/11. But if you tell me it's 0.0001 of the global population, or like whatever it is, people go like, "Oh, that's literally nothing." You know, if you're like, here's a bag of M&Ms and I'm going to take one of them out, you're like, "Well, I don't care. I still have a whole bag of M&Ms." So the global population is so big, and the internet is so big. Like, I think I heard that 30% of the global population is on Facebook. And what's crazy about that is, like, that's so many people.
That's too many people.
But it's only 30%. Like, the world is so big. So there are so many people who don't know who anyone is on the internet. And the fact that you can be as famous as like a Kim Kardashian, a Beyonce, a Jennifer Lopez, like you can probably say Kim Kardashian's name anywhere in the world and someone will know who she is. That's crazy to be that famous.
Yeah, that's how. And then it's funny to be like that famous, and then like I feel like Paris Hilton was that famous, but now there's a whole generation of kids who have no idea who she is. Whereas Kim Kardashian truly does span from like the youngest of the young to the oldest of the old.
Well, because
everyone
it's
has
the
heard
family
of her.
dynasty.
Ooh, baby.
Have you heard Lil Nas X's new song "Holiday"?
No. Oh, yes. Yes, I
What
have.
I think
And that
is
music
funny-
video is insane. insane. I think we already talked about it on here.
Did we? Well, he's dope. I really enjoy him, and I like him because he's kind of an internet troll. And what I love about him is I feel like he understands that he is a kid's musical artist.
Mm-hmm.
Like Old Town Road popped with 5-year-olds. It was the number one. I mean, like, he is also the biggest song ever in music history. Literally has been the longest on the Billboard charts.
What a star.
And so that's so cool. But also, I think he really understands his audience because he's in his early or mid-20s, and he's a gay man who used to be a Nicki Minaj barb, like used to run a Santa
full barb.
So he could be out here getting with the, fat. What is going on with your snot over there?
I'm having some drainage issues.
Okay. But you know what I mean? Like, he could be out here rapping about, hitting it from the back and deep throating the dicks and the fat pussy lips and the making it pop. Like, he could be doing what other people do, but I think he really understands his audience. And so if you listen to all of his music, his shit is very clean, very entendre, double, 2 of them.
Oh, there's 2.
There's 2 entendres. And so I really appreciate that because whoever's guiding him is like, do the Ariana Grande route. When you're 28, you can then get nasty and do math about 69ing someone. Are you ready for the Ariana movie?
Oh, I just realized that that's what she meant with the
Girl,
30.
fuck you. You heard it. You knew. She says it at the end.
I haven't really listened to that song all the way through.
3425.
I watched the music video, 3435, right?
Yeah, that's right.
3425.
I want to 59 you, baby.
I want to 59 you, and then you owe me 10.
Hit me 10 on the backside.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's been so fun. What a fun discussion about Ariana Grande and all
Are you
the
excited
things.
for her tour movie?
Kind of. I can't really get behind a lot of those tour movies because what I want is like a real, I want to see everything. I want to see when stuff goes wrong. And normally it's like very pretty the way they do it. And it's like all nice and friendly, but I want to see mistakes. I want to see her come off stage and be like, someone's voice was off and we need to fix that for next week. Or the
Maybe
next
she
show.
does that.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I know. Taylor Swift released another album. Lesbian in the Woods, I think is what it's called.
Another album?
Another full album. She's like, it's the sister album to whatever the other one was. Everyone's saying it's good. I don't know.
I have no idea what a Taylor Swift album sounds like. I don't think I've ever listened to one.
I listened to one because there was one song that I liked where it was like, I don't remember. No, because I don't really remember it. It went something like, Don't do
that to me.
Listen, y'all, this is a Saturday episode. You know, sometimes Sundays get a little wild. Saturday mornings, not so much. Now we're going to go to the part where if you...
In the park, sipping on a 4th of July.
I just want everyone to know that Dipper is like writing an email or doing something right now. That's why it's slow and nothing's happening.
So I gotta drive the ship. I've actually heard some feedback from some people that I do be driving the ship.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, okay. Now on for the next let me drive this boat.
Well,
now on to our next segment, we're going to be doing some phone calls from our listeners, a little voicemail segment. We got some real fun new ones. I think today we're going to do 3 just because we got a lot now. So, but keep calling to 213-536-9180. Also, someone has complained that we don't have the phone number anywhere in our podcast.
Oh, drag them.
Anywhere.
Let them know.
I'm sorry. I don't know what more we need to do. We say it at the beginning, we say it in the middle, and we say it at the end of every podcast. And if you go to the show notes, if you go to description of the show, there's a place with the phone number, the email, where you can buy my makeup, where you can find us on Instagram, where you can see Dipper stuff. Like, I don't know what more you want us to do.
You're literally dumb.
You're dumb.
If you can't find it.
Should we put it in the profile of the Instagram? probably.
Ooh, good call.
But other than that, you're dumb. Okay, first
Here's a
call.
voicemail.
Hey guys, I'm just calling because there's something on my mind in regards to the relationship between Big Dipper and Meatball. I know that you banter a lot, but sometimes I feel like Meatball is a bit judgmental of Big Dipper's sexual behavior. And I don't know. I don't think that shaming other people's sexual habits is that healthy. So don't want to steer any shit between you guys, just food for thought. So that's all I had to say. Bye.
That's a good send-off. Do you feel like
Thoughts?
I shame you? Do you feel like I shame you? I feel like sometimes I think that what you do is gross.
I think you say how you're feeling out loud, and you wouldn't do the things that I do. And I think as we both do, we sort of lean into things a little more for like comedic effect. I never feel actually shamed by you.
You don't actually do anything that I think is shameful.
I think when you and I send people's posts on Instagram back and forth in the DMs, we don't even have to say anything and we're shaming people. This is what I like about that we do this, and everybody does this. Let's talk.
Everyone does it, so we're not the only people. But like,
girl,
you
and
your
I'm
friends
sure
do.
my posts get sent around to people, and they're just eye rolling
I send your
emojis
posts to you.
Yeah, exactly. But what I love about it is we've been doing it for so long that we don't even have to write anything. You just share the post, and like, I've got thoughts on this, and you're like, well, I do too.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's fun. I had detected a little accent from the voicemail, like a little,
Did
like
you?
a francophile, like a little French.
Wait, play
like
it.
A general, like
French Canadian.
Yeah, like a little, like a slight,
like, oui, bonjour.
Like a little European, a little flavor.
I like on my poutine.
Hey guys, I'm just calling because there's something on my mind in regards to the relationship between Big Dipper and Meatball.
Big Dipper and Meatball, like that.
Are you French? You
don't. We're trying saying that word again.
French?
Are you French?
Where's my beret?
Girl, where is that beret? All right, let's play this next one.
Hi, Big Dipper and Meatball. So this is really hard. So I'm going to try and tell you about how I found out I was asexual. I was living in Palm Springs and sort of dabbling in the world of sex work. And I was visiting a client, and he wanted to hear dirty talk, and I couldn't come up with anything. And it was new for me. And he asked me what my fantasy was. I didn't have one. So he puts on this movie, and there's this ripped Jersey Shore guy getting gangbanged. And I was like, that's it. That's my fantasy. Like, a ripped...
I think I know exactly who he's talking about.
The film or the client?
The film. I'm thinking there's this one guy who looks like Ronnie from Jersey Shore.
Getting gangbanged?
Yeah, I can't remember but yeah. I'm gonna think of his name.
Here's the thing that I always think about gangbangs versus orgies.
God, the soreness.
But the gangbang, like in the pornos, I understand because it's executing a fantasy. It's like acting it out, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, this is the one bottom. The rest of us are tops. When you are not fucking the bottom, you're just sort of like holding your dick, jerking your dick, waiting for your turn to fuck the bottom. I get that. But in real life, I'm like, girl, then just hook up with the other people. Do a little sucky,
like the
sucky,
other people in the room will have. Yeah, but I think it's because it's a porn. They're not really supposed to do that.
Right, and the idea is like that one individual in the room is the only person that all of them are interested in fucking, and they don't want to fuck anyone else or touch anyone else's dick. Girl, okay, let's go.
Girl, that ain't right.
With no inhibitions, and that's what I want. fast forward a few weeks later, it's Palm Springs Pride, and looking around on the apps, and I see the guy from the movie, which isn't like crazy.
What?
But anyways, we strike up a conversation, and we decide to meet up at Hunter's.
Oh no!
Like at the end of
What? You have an issue with Hunters?
No, I don't have an issue with Hunters. It's just no, I love Hunters. Hunters is a great bar, and I'd love to continue to go back there when this is all
Sunday.
over.
And of course, he's like super late, and I'm sitting with these queens, and they don't believe me. And he finally shows up, like out of a movie in a white Maserati, and like all these people are taking pictures, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is the guy, and he's so hot, blah blah blah." And we
wait.
Now. I don't know if how did this story go from one? I don't know if I believe you. Two, how did this go from this is how I realized I was asexual to we're at Hunters?
But also, no shade to anyone who makes porno movies, but like, ain't nobody showing up in a sports car and everyone's like, "Can I take your photo?"
At Hunters?
Girl, in Palm Springs, where half of the population used to make porno movies and now they just like live
do
there.
it in their house?
Yeah.
How? And a Maserati.
Right,
I mean, how much porn? This is not the person I thought it was. How much porn must you be making to lease a Maserati? That's at least a couple thousand a month.
Girl, all right.
jet off into the night.
Wait, what?
Milk doesn't show junk on her OnlyFans.
I know.
Waste of money. Next.
And I'm thinking it's going to be like, show, club, another club. We're just going to have fun.
Okay.
And we end up back at my place after like going to a few bars, and we smoke some weed, and he's like talking to me, and we're just like sort of bonding as like two sort of sex workers from the East Coast in Palm Springs. And all of a sudden he just pounces on me, and we're just going at it, and it's like super hot, but something's not clicking, and I'm not into it. And I'm getting frustrated because I literally had mapped out this fantasy, and it's not working. Well, it didn't work out. Like, I couldn't get it up. I wasn't into it, but we remained friends for years. And it sent me down this whole existential crisis for years, talking to therapists about like how this went wrong. And, it just turns out like 9 years later, and going from like 2 partners a month down to like 1 a year, that, I'm asexual. It's been a process, and anyways, I could talk about it for hours, but this is how it started for me.
Seems like.
That story had twists and turns, Steven.
But how did just like one, like, isn't that always the case? It's like you build up the fantasy in your head, and then the minute it happens, it's like, oh, it's just normal. But it was like all the waiting and anticipation and like all of that is what was exciting. And then once it happens, you're like, I don't ever need to do this again. But apparently for him, for them, it was just like, I don't ever need to do sex again.
Right. I mean, I think there's also the difference of like when it's a person who exists in real life that you're fantasizing about, and then when you're with them in person, it sort of gets like wild and different. I mean, versus a scenario, a
Charlene scenario. That's like her word. Scenario.
No, I didn't know that. I love Charlene.
Oh my God, yeah, she invented that word. Okay.
Well, if it's a scene...
We should have Charlene on the pod.
Oh my God, yes, we should have Charlene on the pod.
That would be
stunning. But so like, some sort of like scene or idea in your head that can become sexy like in any way in any form that it takes. But if you're like, I've watched this person in porno films, I want to fuck them, and then you hang out with them, and then you're like, now it's time to fuck. It's like that performance anxiety. But we need to get into the bigger conversation here of the discovery of the asexuality.
Wait, but can I also say one more thing about porn stars is that working with a lot of them as go-go dancers and stuff, they're so hot and you're like so horny for them, and then you meet them and start talking to them. And for me, once I get to know them on like a personal level and know anything about their personal life, I'm like, it's over.
Yeah.
I am no longer, like, the fantasy is broken because you're not, like, I don't know. You're not the same person I thought you were. You're not the horny little fuck I thought you were.
Well, let me tell you, I have this, I've been talking about this with my therapist in BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.
But I have this like thing is like putting myself out there on this podcast and making music and videos and performing. I have like an internal thing where because it's happened a few times, I project this idea that people have an expectation of how I'll be sexually and intimately because I talk about it and I talk about it in my music. So then when
you talk about putting your dick in people's butts in the music, and then when they get there and you're just like, I would just like to suck your penis and leave.
Well, not even that, but just this idea that it's a character. You know what I mean? We talked when Michael, either when we did the drive-in show and I interviewed Michael when you weren't around, or we've just sort of talked about it. It's like he much prefers Logan over Meatball. Obviously,
of course,
he's not dating Meatball, and so for me, sometimes when people know who I am ahead of time, it feels like they want to date Big Dipper and they don't want to date me. You know?
Yeah, that's always the most annoying question. Is like when I'm out of drag, I'm not being paid to like be performing or anything, and I'm just hanging out. People are like, "You're so much more fun. Like, what's going on? Why aren't you being so fun and loud and crazy? Are you sad?" And I'm like, no, I'm just at a bar trying to hang out.
You're like, I'm just waiting for my matzi, my chicky
I'm just
fingers.
waiting for my chicky fingers and matzi sticks.
My matzi sticks.
Okay, one more phone call.
But I do want to, we have a moment of time before we play this further call. I want to talk about the asexuality journey because I think a lot of people go like, that's crazy that they were a sex worker and doing sex and having clients. But they're
me,
asexual.
Sex work it can be for pleasure, but for me it's work. Or not for me, but like in my opinion.
Right.
But I
just want to say the thing that we learn about the spectrum of gender and the spectrum of sexuality is that we can always evolve and change. So like just like there are some people who like don't know that they fall on the queer spectrum until later in life. You know what I mean? They like don't discover it or they don't understand. I feel like there are plenty of people who maybe had sex drive and were sexual and had no performance issue. And then later in life, were like, actually, this isn't for me. Yeah. And they've sort of settled into their asexuality. So I just wanted to say that because I think,
And I'm sure that there's a lot of people that were asexual for a long time. And then something happened or a switch got flipped and they were like, well, maybe let me start getting into this again. People change.
People
change.
Okay, here's our last voicemail.
Hey guys, I wanted to call for a long time and tell the story about how I one time had sex with my doctor, and the thing about it was we had sex during my physical.
Let's get physical.
No.
Physical.
Do the Dula Lipsa.
It's not coming to mind. And I've memorized it and performed it before.
Let's get physical. I do it to you.
Come on. Hey, let's get physical.
Yeah, okay. Anyways.
Hold on. Just a little. There it is.
You said, it's not coming to mind.
It's not.
Okay. During your physical, hot.
We were in the office. We kind of started talking, like flirting a little bit. We talked about P-Town, and then I asked him what his favorite porn stars were, and then we were just making out. And then I started fucking him in the office. His hands were against the door so that no one would come in. This has always been like the highlight of my life, the most porny moment of my life. But I always thought it was very special, and then I found out a couple years later that he got fired for doing the same thing with a bunch of patients. So that's my fuck talk story. I also wanted to say on your recent podcast, does Dipper have the tiniest little nipples? And one last thing. Did you guys know that Gemma Bubblegum and Bitch Pudding went to the same college together? I think they were in the same graduating class. I'm not sure. All right, well, I love you guys so much. I listened to 8,394 minutes of your podcast this year. Love
It was
you guys
this
back.
guy. It was them.
Wow. That's like the best voicemail.
That's what it's called because it was
gotten.
stacked. So,
Stacked.
let's start with the sex with your doctor. That sounds super hot, but the minute they're comfortable enough just to fuck you with the hands on the door, they've done it before, baby. You ain't special. Just like a teacher fucking a student in his classroom. You aren't the first and you won't be the last.
The thing that is wild to me is that they started kissing first, because I could imagine touching first. I'm gonna examine you, then your dick gets hard, and then he looks at you and then goes and like maybe grabs more. But the first step to fuck your doctor is kissing? Girl, he was ready.
Girl, no.
And if he was ready to take some dick right there, right then, he cleaned out before he went to work.
He's a doctor.
He looked at the books and
He
saw
knew
you were coming in.
He saw your name and he said, quick, someone hand me one of those syringes. I gotta go shoot some water up my butt.
Da-da-da-doosh. Is that an
That's-
Addams Family parody? Da-da-da-doosh.
Da-da-da-douche.
Da-da-da-doosh.
Da-da-da-douche.
Da-da-da-roosh. Da-da-da-doosh. All right.
All right. And then the other part. Do you have tiny nipples?
They're small, but I'm growing them. I went on What's the Safe Word podcast with Pup Amp and Christopher Weston.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a lot of conversation about how to grow my nipples.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working on that.
What's the key to growing a nip?
I have to play with them, which the thing is, I don't really, right now they're not that sensitive, so I don't really like playing with them. I also don't do a lot of like self-playing. I don't like sit around and jerk off. You know, there's some people who are like, well, end of a long day, I'm going to kick back on my couch and like really jerk
Light
off
the
for
fire,
90
get a
minutes.
movie going,
And you're
rub
like,
it,
what is
pop
going
a
out?
Viagra.
I'm like, when I jerk off, it is the fastest I can come possible so that I can move on and do something else. I don't like enjoy jerking
Well, see,
off.
maybe you should try. What is that Vicks Vapor Rub up behind you? Maybe you should try it with Vicks. Maybe you should try it, like lighting some candles.
Not Vicks Vapor Rub on your
Maybe you
dicky?
should try lighting some
What if
candles
it get
and
in a
doing
little
that,
pee-pee-o?
and then pleasuring your nipples, and maybe the whole experience. Have a glass of apple juice.
And
in
I
your
could
case,
play Let's Get Physical by Dua Lipa. How's it go?
let's get physical. Come on, just a little time. Hold on. Tell me if you're ready for more. Someone told me I sound like a Muppet when I sing. And then what was the last
True.
part? Bitch putting and Jim a bubblegum went to school together. I feel like I knew that. But I don't know if they were friends. I mean, just because you graduated the same class as someone at a college, like, that means nothing.
Nothing. Girl, this was a sack call, and thank you for listening to all 8,000 minutes. We love that you guys listen to this show. Truly, truly, madly, deeply.
Also coming up, we have some amazing guests.
Yes, this Friday is going to be the last night of
Alaka?
Hanukkah, and so
Alaka.
Alaka is going to be joining us. Alaska.
Famous Jewish drag queen Alaska Thunderfuck.
Famous Jewish narcoleptic drag queen Alaska Thunderfuck will be joining us from Seattle. And then we have a special surprise for the end of the year. But I do want to tell everyone now, we won't be putting out episodes on the last week of the year. So that last week of December, there will not be an episode on Tuesday, December 29th or Friday, January 1st.
Instead of doing those, unfortunately, we just can't. There will be 2 3-minute episodes, and it's just going to be me singing Defying Gravity. 2 different times. It's going to be 2 different versions.
2 different takes of it?
2 different takes, but that's what you'll be getting. Oh my God. We can't do that to them.
Yeah, we
That's
can.
not. No, we can't because I don't want to.
How about you do one and I do one?
Okay. Okay.
Wait, isn't it actually a duet though?
Kind of. So we'll switch off. One of them will be you as Glinda, and one of them
Can't
will
do
be.
this.
We'll get copyrighted, right? Well, we just won't sell ads on it.
I don't know.
So if you care to find me,
Hey.
look to the western sky.
So if you care to find me, look to the western sky. You like that?
Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, that was better than mine. I will give you that.
So I think that's it.
Go watch The Grinch. It's an hour and 20 minutes.
It's bad.
And you can skip through a lot of it.
So, if you want to call and leave us a fuck talk story, our number is 213-536-9180. And let us also send us an email at sloppysecondspod@gmail.com. And let us know if you have a story that needs investigating, like a drag story or like...
because I would love to talk to Alona and Willem about
marriage breaking up or something like that.
Or do you know a guy who used to have no hair and then all of a sudden has hair?
Ooh.
And is pretending as though it's not a wig?
The Secrets of Rogaine.
Or those glue-on wigs.
Do you remember that movie Bridge to Terabithia?
Yeah, baby.
It was sad, right? Didn't the little boy
Yeah, she died of cancer or something.
Girl. All right.
They used to get you. Do you remember My Girl?
Nothing you can do. Oh, no, that's My Guy.
It was the one where she was allergic to bees.
Yeah.
Or he was allergic to bees. Someone died from bees.
This is bad now. Let's end.
Okay.
Bye.
Doodle-doo-doo. Forever Dog. To listen to Sloppy Seconds ad-free, sign up for Forever Dog Plus at foreverdogpodcast.com/plus.
Sloppy Seconds is produced by Forever Dog and Moguls of Media.
Mom! Hosted by Big Dipper and Meatball. Mixed and mastered by William Pitts.
Executive produced by Willem Belli, Alaska Thunderfuck, Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey.
Our artwork is drawn by Christian Cimarroni.
And our theme song was written by Mike Malarkey.